This is Sammy Dewey from Goat and you're listening to Tales from the Riff podcast. And don't forget to beat your meat.
And welcome to another episode of Tales from the Riff. And we just took your mom out to a steak dinner, and it was delightful. I'm Mo Soleil, and I'm joined by Mr. Philip Brawler Dussor from Raise a Death Toll. How's it going, Philip?
I'm doing all right, man. I could breathe through one nostril. It was better than earlier this week, but I'm doing great.
Oh,
to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us, man.
Sorry it took so long.
Oh man, hey, all good things come to those who wait, man. I'm a big believer in that. So,
as am I. I'm still waiting.
I know. I think we're all still waiting. So, man, you work on the boats, right?
Yeah, I work on a harbor tug on the Mississippi River.
Oh, so you just pull some time in the river? You don't do anything like offshore?
Oh yeah. Like I said, I'm not onshore. That's why I tell people offshore, because I'm on the river for 2 weeks at a time, docking and sailing ships in the port of New Orleans.
Oh wow!
On a harbor tug.
How long you been doing that?
This year makes 14 years.
Oh, so you're straight up tugboat captain, like not a first mate, not an engineer, but the captain at that point, right?
Yeah, I'm the boss. I don't like to be, but I'm the boss, man.
Well, you certainly look the part.
Oh, I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm trying to do that fake it till you make it, and until I get caught, I just haven't got caught, and they haven't fired me, and I haven't quit yet.
Shit,
I'm on my title is captain, but my educational level is probably a new deckhand that just came on.
Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks on. I mean, that's a pretty good schedule. If I have to say that 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I mean, considering when I started, it was 7 on, 7 off.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm there too long and I'm at home too long. I like that, not getting comfortable in one spot for I'm doing it for so long. But now it's even tougher that I have a son. So every time I come back, he's almost as tall as me.
That's a great question. That's a good segue. How tall are you?
I'm 6'7".
Guys, yeah, because I mean, you don't remember, I'm sure, but like when y'all played Freetown one night, I walked past you and I was like, that is one huge mammal. Like, holy shit.
Well, good thing you never saw me on drag night when I have to wear heels.
No,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I was like, hey man, different strokes for different folks, and I mean, you're out there in New Orleans. I wouldn't be too far fetched.
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny I've been to a few drag shows, but I haven't participated just yet. I haven't gotten that drunk.
Might change your life, huh?
I might, or somebody else's.
So man, let's talk about Raise a Death Toll, man. I mean, y'all coming from New Orleans. Are y'all all wet? Is it on the East Bank, West Bank? Or are y'all all in one area?
Was in one area. Right now we're kind of rebuilding in a sense because of the pandemic life, people getting older, families, whatnot. But at one point, everybody was from the West Bank. And then we got a new bass player that I don't know what he'd be considered, but Ed, the bass player, is from Picayune.
Okay.
Slidell area, and we just got this guy named Rome who's helping write the next EP, and I think he's from the West Bank, but now he lives in Lakeview. But yeah, he's taking a run, and we're in between genres at the moment.
Yeah. Well, so I saw that the record, the EP, Penthouse of 1,000 Corpses was released in July of 2018, and So y'all did all that by yourselves, right?
Yeah, that one was just Gavin and I,
Okay.
the old guitar player. He did everything, and I just kind of put the vocals on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never meant to be playing shows. We didn't want to do any shows. We just wanted to just record a bunch of music and put it out. And then I had a birthday show, and I asked a couple friends to fill in, and they just filled in until they didn't want to fill in anymore, pretty much.
That's
And
cool.
now, we got used to and became adapt to playing live to where I like to keep it going at least till we're done recording these EPs, because the main goal was just to make 3 of them, like a trilogy of sorts for like horror movies, because
Right.
I always got trilogies. And then in the middle of working on the second one, life just happened. Like the Gavin, who wrote the whole first one, fell off his roof,
Oh shit.
and he can't. Yeah, so I don't know if he's gonna be able to be playing live or do anything for a while.
Yeah.
So he just politely stepped down or fell down after stepping down.
Yeah. So have you just traditionally been always a vocalist, or did you play guitar, any instrument like that?
Nah, always been a vocalist. I wish I played guitar. Now
Yeah.
I feel like it's too late. I'm right now trying to build my own little studio. Yeah, a friend of mine who is just the drummer for Deftones, he's also plays drums in his band called Gora.
Yeah.
Who's awesome. They was just jamming, having fun, and I just started. I always wanted to be a rapper at first, and I just started rapping over his beats, and then went to a local show, our first ever one, and just fell in love with metal bands. I've always listened to metal, listened to rap, this and that, but we've never been to a concert before. And our first concert together was a local metal show, and we wanted to be those guys. As opposed to idolizing the ones that were famous and on TV, we wanted to be like the local band at the time.
Yeah. So
that was go ahead.
I was about to say, what type of rap you were listening to at the time coming up?
So, at that time, it was a lot of Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
A lot of Mystical. They had a guy named Low Key I really liked. 3 6 Mafia. Tupac. Who else? Do you remember that group Crucial Conflict? I was big into them.
Yep, I remember the name. Like a lot of the acts that you name. I mean, they were born and bred in Louisiana, New Orleans, namely. A lot of acts that I listened to came up from the West Bank, and I mean, you can't, as a native Louisianan, you cannot deny the big presence of all that hip hop coming out. I mean, it was just infectious, and I'm sure some of that music just couldn't help but spill into a lot of the metal acts that came up over here too. But
you say that, but it's crazy. I would think that personally, with it being a big jazz and rap place, you would hear a lot more rap metal bands. But the bands that are big are like the Crowbars, the I Hate Gods,
right.
To me, like they are like, and it's just my opinion, but slow and sludgy, but like the opposite of like the rhythm that the rap and all that brings. Like it's just chaotic, sludgy, slow, heavy, but not it's, I guess any of them will be influenced by a rapper, but I don't know none of them personally. I'm just like I can't see Sammy Duet pulling up listening to Notorious B.I.G.
No, me neither. I can't see that either.
And then coming up, man, there was a lot of good rap metal acts.
Oh yeah.
None of them came. I mean, right now the only one I could think of is Project Ascension, that's doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them that really are as big as those names that I mentioned.
Yeah, I the first group that came to mind was my cousin's band, Our House. I had him on as a guest a while back, and I mean they're probably, if not younger than, I mean definitely younger than me, but probably about your age, if younger, and they came up on all the hip hop like you mentioned, and the new metal fusion and all that stuff, and it just like it all ends and begins with like bands like Linkin Park and Slipknot and all that, and I had my days where I appreciated Slipknot, and to some sort of degree I still do, but Slipknot's not my go-to.
Right.
You know, a lot of the music that I've grown up on was like here in Louisiana, like Acid Bat. You mentioned Sammy, and freaking Goat Whore, and I Hate God, Crowbar, Down. I mean, all the heavy hitters from this side, Exhorder as well, man.
Yeah, see, one of the first ones that we constantly played out was Acid Bath. Acid Bath was probably like the first bigger name I got into.
Yep.
But I don't know if you ever heard of Abuse.
I have.
They were one of the we always kept on repeat in the first band I was in. It was always either Abuse, Acid Bath. Not so much like the Downs and the I Hate Gods. The drummer loved Goat Whore, but other than that, it was like the obscure local metal bands like Organized Hostility, Demise, Skin Crawl, those bands.
Yeah, I was, and we didn't even mention Soylent Green. I mean, Soylent Green was, another one of mine.
Oh,
dude.
Yeah, I did like that one too. I stole their CD off of Columbia House when you just send in that penny. And they sent you the album. Do you remember that?
I do. I did the same thing.
And they never even checked, man. But that's how I ended up with a Soylent Green CD.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean that's
I
like
forgot about that.
I know, man. Like Columbia House, like I would trade off on Columbia House and BMG. It was like whatever.
Oh, yeah, BMG as well.
Yeah, whatever
Fake name, and then a penny.
Oh yeah,
they didn't care.
Yep. Whatever Columbia House didn't have, I go to BMG and vice versa. I mean, I was getting where I could, man. Absolutely. So I guess take me back, man, to whenever you were younger. And when you first heard, like, what was the first like metal song that just, or rock song even, like when you heard a riff or even a certain voice that just permeated and just, got into your soul and said, dude, I gotta, this is what I want to do. I want to be a vocalist.
All right. So I guess not necessarily a metal vocalist, but my friends in my little group was heavily into ICP.
Okay.
So we'd make up silly raps and make fun of people. But I would say like the first time I wanted to scream was when I've heard watching the MTV Awards and Marilyn Manson did The Beautiful People.
Yeah.
Straps.
Yeah.
And that I really liked that and Korn, that first album. But it wasn't really until Chimera came out with Pass Out of Existence that molded everything I wanted to do. The way he screamed, I focused a lot on rhyming and I guess doing like a hip hop delivery. And then that first album, he kind of did that, but he didn't. Like he's on he has good patterns, but they didn't all necessarily have to rhyme. And I'm like, oh, all right, I guess as long as you don't have to rhyme if you're have a great message or a delivery, I guess, in a sense. But I would say all of those. So
what was the first band, the first group you got into, like that involved like a full-fledged band, and were you like coached in any way, shape, or form with your vocal style?
Not. I got a lot of shit for not being able to control it at the time. I didn't know what that meant. And as I got older, I'm, like if you want to make a certain sound, you should be able to make it, like control. I could make my voice sound like I want to sound. I was just screaming and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But, that was Organized Hostility. Like I said, so my buddy and I had a friend that we went to school with. His cousin played guitar in Organized Hostility. And I was always under the impression that I guess I never knew how bands were made. I thought, you watch all this stuff on MTV, and I was naive thinking that they're just put together, which some of them are, but like a factory, or you apply and they just piece you together like a boy band. And when we met Organized Hostility, we went every weekend and started getting into the local scene in New Orleans. I was 16, 17 years old, and I looked up to the singer. And that's what made us start the band.
I bet the singer. I bet that singer looked up to you, actually.
Oh, I was a lot smaller and skinnier then.
Come on.
But nah, he was nice, and then he gave us our first show, which we played at 3:00 in the afternoon at an all ages place, opening up for them. and he managed us and taught us how to make T-shirts, taught us how to book shows, taught us how to put music online. Because back then they didn't have MySpace or Facebook. We had the website with the band name with the CJB.net,
Mm-hmm.
and he taught me the business side of being in a local band, which I mean now is really not too much of a business side of it, but
it was still instrumental in your upbringing as being a bandmate, and and how to manage the band.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Like he taught us all like how the network, how to book out of town. So times have changed, and times have changed every year to where I guess no matter how long I've been doing it, I'm still learning, and that's why I always when I give people advice or they look up to me enough to care about my advice or care what I have to say, I always say it's a matter of opinion because every band gets signed different, every band gets booked different, every band should sound different, and for the most part, and do things differently, do whatever is comfortable for them, and do whatever makes them happy, and whatever their schedule allows, and whatever they want out of it. You're not going to be your idols. You shouldn't want to be another band unless you're in that cover band, and even then, you're not going to grab that same success. So I always tell people it's a matter of opinion because everybody's going to have a different outcome, even if you do the same thing. I find.
yeah, that's good words of wisdom right there. Because I know,
in my opinion.
yeah, but it's a solid opinion though. It's something that definitely resonates with me. I was never in a band, but I'm always admire the guys that are in a band, like as far as the musicianship, and there's always maybe one if not all members that put in the work, where it's booking shows, overseeing all the merchandising, establishing a network, broadening their network, and all that stuff, man. And so it's credit to you for seeing everything through with your band. You said you're looking for a new drummer right now, and I'm sure that's going to be on the way. It's going to be happening real soon for Raise the Death Toll.
Oh, yeah. We got more offers than I thought.
Oh, there you go.
It's just I guess being picky. I feel right now with me being almost 40, I'm just chasing the dragon at this point of trying to recapture. Because even though, like I said about things being different, when I first started, I was in a band called Aggravate, and those times were different. That's what I say it's a matter of opinion because it's a catch-22 to where some people try to strategically book in the area,
Mm-hmm.
like they may never tour, but so let's say the Freetown. If I lived in Lafayette, I'd probably only play the Freetown once every 3 or 4 months to not divide the draw of this and that. But then you might have the group of guys that would play every night if asked, if allowed. So who's right, who's wrong? There's no. It's all about. If you play every night, then I don't think anybody's gonna come even see their favorite band every night. People got things to do.
Oh yeah.
But who's to say that they're doing it wrong or they're not doing it right? If they're having fun and they know that and they're aware of that, then what's the? But when my first band, we would play the same venue every month. It was an all ages venue called Cypress Hall. I don't know if you heard of it.
I have heard of Cypress Hall.
And there'll be a point where the bar next door that we want to be accepted to would access. They'll tell us a band dropped off and would need us, so we'll pack up our gear and go right across the street and play there. And then if they asked us to play the next night, we would. And now everybody to the point to where it's if we play a certain place, we're not going to play there for 3 or 4 months, which I get. But that's just, I guess, the mind state that changed over time.
Now, with playing the same venue month after month, does that take away from your performance? Do you still enjoy that venue? Do you still like getting on that same stage and doing what you do for the people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm just like the vocalists. So you have to talk to everybody about doing that.
Right.
And it seems like every band I was in, at first, it becomes a thing where you don't mind. And then everybody else gets, it's not so much play in the same venue because, like I said, over time, networking, if I feel like I'm going to bring in 20, 30 people, I'm friends with the owners of these bars. So that's a good business night for them. And I'm having fun. And it's a night out. Now that I have a family, that's my reason to go out. I don't go clubbing. I'll try to go see a friend's band when I can. But most of the time, that's my night out. And I absolutely enjoy it because if I didn't, dealing with all these personalities and attitudes and stuff, I definitely would not deal with all that. But it all goes away when everybody's on stage, whether we're butting heads, having some childish fight with each other or something dumb. But the enjoyment is still there. I don't think nobody would still do it. It's just the idea of, I guess, not being a touring band and being a local band. We don't pump out new songs as much, and with Deftones only having that one EP and a few songs, the set's always the same.
Mm-hmm.
So then half the band wants to take a break, half of them wants to write new songs. Some don't want to play until there's new songs, but nobody's touring. I mean, there's only so many places that you can play now, where it's kind of like, all right, do you even want to play? Do you not want to play? And to me, that's why I always say it's the local band curse. Because all my favorite local bands put out an awesome CD, maybe make it to the second one, but then they break up. But then you see these same group of guys make new bands and do the same cycle because one, they're not probably touring. Two, they probably want to play different songs, but you only, it's not like other music where you can just dish out song after song, and you got to also let certain songs breathe and get a chance to be heard. In a sense,
let them see the light of day and just see how the crowd reacts. Absolutely, man.
Right. So then, and I guess one of the trickier things too with trying to find new members is, because we're in the midst of writing the second one. Do I get them to learn the old songs just to have those cut from the set? Because you don't want to go up there and play 100 songs either.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make it short, sweet, get off. So I don't know. My main thing, I guess, on the Deftones end is to try to hopefully get 3 EPs out and then see where it is from there. But, hopefully find the people that won't mind playing the same place every month and enjoy it. Because to me, if you enjoy it, man, it don't matter where you play at. You can play in a shed and it'll be awesome.
That's what
I've
heard.
been having more fun at practicing, just jamming with the guys than, going out and playing the show.
Yeah. I got a bunch of friends over here in Lafayette and New Orleans that are in a bunch of bands, and they all say the same thing. It's like, man, the amount of juice that they get from being on stage and performing, it's second to none. It's like it's almost better than sex, and I just kind of made me, it was my eyebrow was like, what?
And I agree, man. It's a different high,
mm-hmm.
Especially if you work hard enough and I guess make something that's enjoyable to where it's not just your friends watching, and you get strangers that are coming and spending their money because they could do anything on any Friday and Saturday night, but to support a local band, you have to actually probably have searched for them, stumbled upon them, because normally it starts off with your friends and word of mouth. But to me, I feel like the local scene is you kind of have to dig for it and have to know about it and search for it, and then to get them to come back. When there's so many things to do, especially in New Orleans, that to me, that's like a whole different high to where it's like, all right, man, we got a good thing going. And like I was saying, chasing this dragon, because like I said, when I was younger, the scene was a lot different. But now you got to be vaccinated or show a negative test to go places. And then there was the year off. And
you can't flirt with a girl without having a mask on these days.
You don't even need a condom no more. You just have to have a mask.
That's right. So Gavin, you said probably won't be touring anymore, but he's still in the mix of like writing the second EP, right?
Oh no, he stepped down completely.
Oh, he stepped down completely. Okay, so at the moment it's just you and Ed,
and this guy Rome.
So
so I'm not gonna. I say I'm not. Well, I guess we already have a song,
mm-hmm.
but we just got to find the drummer because all these guys, these guitar players, I'm finding now. See, back in the day, it was easier to play shows. It was harder to record. Now everybody I know has their own studio and don't even need a band. They could make they could do like Gavin, for instance. Gavin's a great vocalist. He knows how to program drums and play guitar and bass. He didn't even need me for Death Toll.
Mm-hmm.
He could have done it. But what was funny with that is I made a post looking to start playing music again because Death Toll's my third band, and Kyle from Exhorter actually shared it, and that's how Gavin hit me up.
Wow, what a hookup!
Oh yeah,
you know.
Well, I know a girl that knows Kyle, and that's what she was like. Hey, my friend Kyle's in a band. I can get him to share your post. And I was like, all right. And then when I saw it was Kyle Thomas, I went, wait a minute. You know about that Kyle? That was a legend, man.
Yeah. You should have led in with, I know Kyle Thomas of Exhorter.
Right. But I guess she doesn't look at Kyle because she sings on Bourbon Street. And I guess he was in cover bands.
Yeah.
So that's how they know each other. But she knows of Exhorter, but didn't know the hype of him being an Exhorter.
That's nuts.
But no, this guy Rome, pretty much the same background as Gavin, except for different. They like different styles of metal, which is going to be interesting and is definitely going to shape the future of the next CP differently. It's going to have a different sound, but still heavy, fun, chaotic. Hopefully.
So, what it's like? Have you like spent a whole lot of time with Rome and like with the writing process at this point?
I've been giving him a lot of homework, but yeah. At first, like I said, we had Jarrett, who's been filling in forever, but he's getting more into fitness and working out, and he's on his routine that he's scared to, I guess, get off of. It's easier to lose track than to stay on, in his words. And when, like I said, the thing happened because Gavin fell off the roof and messed his back up pretty bad. And so we've been going through the cycle of doing this and that, and I'm working 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. We had a certain day to practice and write, and he just couldn't do it no more. So, but he was always the fill, and he never wanted to have his name associated with the band because he's an asshole. But yeah, like I said, he's in Gore, so we did a song around him, and between him and Rome, they wrote this song in like 2 or 3 hours, and it was awesome. So now we're having to write without a drummer. So I guess now the whatever happens next is going to be different.
Yeah. So,
but I'm not giving up.
Oh no, man, don't give up. I mean, y'all got a real good thing going. I mean, just whenever I started thinking about local bands, before, and this might sound a little, cliche if you heard, previous episodes of mine, but when I think about local bands, I think about the ones that I was able and fortunate to see live, and Raise the Death Toll was part of that equation. What y'all bring, as far as live shows are concerned, it's just straight up like onslaught of brutality, and that's something I get behind. So don't give up.
I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, dude. Can you tell me a little bit like what Rome's into, where he differs from Gavin? As far as the music they're into?
Well, I would say definitely you could tell if you have a style room, you could tell by looking at him.
Okay.
So this is not his forte, but we've been friends with him forever. So currently he sings for a band called Pale Shelter. I don't know if you ever heard of them. And they're like an alternative rock band, but we've been friends with him forever. So when I put it out that we needed a guitar player, that's because our other fill-in dropped down. So we had this guy named Bobby who was in Wasted Creation.
Yeah.
He was filling in. So we just got all these fill-ins. Mainly the whole time really the band was Gavin, Ed, and I. And just guys helping us play shows because it wasn't meant to play shows. But so I would say Rome comes from I don't know how to explain it. Like an alternative like he was a shredder, not a slammer. But he gets it. Whatever this dude does, and he's singing for another band that's gonna be releasing something soon, and this dude's just like all out genius, kind of like I say, he doesn't need a band either. He has his own studio, and he's been helping me with my this other little project I've been doing dedicated to my son. recording that kind of stuff.
That's Lyrics for Liam, right?
Yeah, Lyrics for Liam. Yeah.
Okay. That's a very. I like that. I like that name. I like that. That's good. Now
it's like a straight to the point.
Yeah. And now that's your son that's in the pictures right here that I'm looking at for your profile picture.
Yeah, it's my son Liam. But yeah, I just wanted to record more, man. I was thinking, I guess I'm going through like a musical midlife crisis, or what was the word I was trying to think of earlier? I told somebody about it. It wasn't a musical midlife crisis, but it's kind of like
a turning point or something.
I had it in my head. I'm thinking earlier to where like I would say my prime in music was when when I was in my first band, every month we would play the same venue, but it'd be a touring act.
Mm-hmm.
All these bands that are huge now, when they were starting out, we got to open up for them. And every show, we're all teenagers. It'd be at least 200, 300 people every month, same venue. They wasn't there to see us, but we got to play in front of them, and but we never recorded anything. It was so hard and we couldn't afford to. But now that in this day and age, it seems trickier to play shows and tours are canceling, and even something as small as like a rainy day or somebody getting sick, which is, you got to rely on so much to where now everybody could just hit a few buttons and put out an album.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at in my head now. I just want to just make up for the times I didn't release anything and put them on, whether people listen or not, just to have.
Yeah, definitely.
I forgot what I was thinking of the word. Maybe it was musical midlife crisis, but I had a twang to it. I couldn't remember what I said. No, I was saying like I guess when you start looking back at your life and all that, but not my regular life, just I guess the music part of it all.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, I first joined my first band when I was 15, and I had a few breaks in between, but I guess that's all I've really known. So that's why I guess keep using the word chasing the dragon, because at this point most people would probably give up and bands will break up, but I'm gonna keep it trying to at least go, if not record things under the name of it.
I think if there's something that you're passionate about, and I've always maintained this, if there's something really passionate about and it's a healthy release or healthy habit or or hobby or even a gift, I mean, you'd be a fool not to keep chasing that dragon, man. I mean, if it brings you joy in life, just keep doing it. As long as you have that ability and the motivation to do so, fuck, man, keep going. I mean, because
the biggest thing, I guess, the mobility.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to be, as soon as I can't walk or have to use a cane, there goes the live performance right there. I mean, I'll try to go up there in a wheelchair and get the people bucked, but
you'll probably still be taller than most of the audience members in the wheelchair, so it'll be all good.
If I don't have to do a hologram first. But yeah, I recently too, well, I don't know when this would be aired, but I guess I'm not releasing nothing, but also got asked to join another band, and that's been kind of keeping me going in a sense of I guess not fully being down. But I normally every band I'm in, I either start it or they put me in head of it because I'm just a vocalist. So I feel like, because every band I've been in, I've been fortunate enough to jam with, to me, some of the best musicians in the city. I think anything they do, whatever bands they get in, it'll be awesome. And I just got to be the hype man for them in a sense. So I got really lucky with the people I've got to jam with. But this time around, I could just get told what to do. Like, hey man, this is the words, stream it, show up, put on a show. Like,
really?
Oh man, that's the easiest.
Is that something you want to reveal, or we can talk about it off air?
When's this gonna air? I guess it ain't nothing, but they already booked the show.
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh man, but yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of Raccoon City Massacre.
Oh yeah, that's my people. They were Hickman and God, what's his name?
The guitar player, Barry.
Yeah, Barry, yes. They Hickman and Max Dandry came do a podcast with me before their show here in Lafayette, and
that's how I found out about you.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, 'cause I think I even hit you up at that because Hickman, posted about it. But yeah, so I guess the same thing for what I understand with just life and not being able to take on a band. They was just gonna fold, so I offered to join them because I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm like, well, I hate to see y'all, because it was always three of them. So without a singer, it was just Hickman and Barry. So Ed and I are joining them to keep them going.
Man, I think that's gonna be a great marriage. I'm excited. I'm not even kidding you, man.
I was excited that they wanted me. I was like, man, I'm getting old. I'm getting big. Man, I'm just excited to be wanted. Everybody else is leaving me, and y'all are accepting me. But yeah, so now because they didn't have a bass player, and then Brandon stepped down, so Ed and I are going to join them to keep them going.
That band, dude, it's so they're such a like a breath of fresh air, for lack of comparison or something like that. But when I heard what they bring to the table with with Barry's a freaking phenomenal. He's a goddamn wizard as far as I'm concerned. As far as the music that he writes, it's just, and then when I got to see him play for the first time at Freetown, I was like, look at this guy just go off. I mean, you could tell he's having so much fun doing it. And
hey, he's the man. I'm surprised more people don't know about him.
I know.
I was like, man, I would put, if I had a label and I was from here and I had money to invest, they'd be one of them.
Hell yes.
That's why I was like, man, I don't know what y'all not doing. And y'all pumping out music all the time, and it's quality. Like I don't understand, like what's not happening with y'all that, because they have a hard time getting themselves booked, and I don't understand why. But I'm hopefully try to help them with that with the networking I have and the connections I have, hopefully. But I'm just looking at it as just the straight fun, like you said, like how Barry moves around, and then I can see pairing him with Ed, the way Ed moves around. They might not even let me on the stage with them. Not too much.
Oh, it's gonna be a riot, man.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. So, and then in fact, I told Hitman was after the episode that aired between him and Max. He said, "Man, Barry's gonna be pissed off at me because I didn't have him here." I said, "Well, we can always bring him back." And now, right. I mean, my goal is like, if y'all come to Lafayette, y'all got to come early. You got to come to the house, have everyone in studio, and we could do another Raccoon City Massacre podcast.
Oh yeah, that'd be definite.
Yes, man. Hope you like dogs. We got 3 of them over here.
You have what?
3 dogs.
Oh yeah, I thought you was asking about eat dogs. I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
Nah, I like all animals, man. I don't mind. I just don't want to get bit by one.
Oh no. They'll just lick you to death. My 3. That's all they do. Go
ahead.
They're gonna just beg you to take them home with you. That's all.
Oh, that's my favorite kind. I actually tried to have a dog this weekend and it didn't work out.
Oh no.
No, between having a 3-year-old and a puppy, you couldn't tell which was which. You would think there was either 2 puppies always going at it, or twins going at it, fighting over toys, and trying to buy one its own toys, and the other one takes it. And I'm talking about it's back and forth. Like I bought the dog toys, he takes them from him, saying it's his toy. The dog's trying to take his toy. So it was a trial. It was my fiance is a vet, so it was a dog they've been boarding. And we was gonna try to give it a home, but it didn't work out.
Oh. Yeah, my fiance, she's big into rescuing animals, man. I mean, I am too. We foster them whenever we can, and we're hoping and kind of praying that a female husky would kind of just falls into our lap because we got 2 boys and 1 female right now, and we're like, man, we need another little girl to give Luna, our female, some company. Right. She's just getting gang upped on.
And it has to be a husky.
Well, we got 3 huskies, so we just got to keep it in the keep a little wolf pack here.
Right. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure the Raccoon City Massacre thing. We haven't even practiced yet, and they already got a show. So I'm sure Freetown has to be on the list.
Oh yeah, they had a huge response whenever they played over here, and they opened up for Gamera, the local guys over here, and I mean, I was just utterly impressed. I mean, by not only watching Hickman play drums, Barry playing and doing what he does. I mean, and there was no bass player. It was like, dude, it still fucking kills. Like, this is a shit here.
Right, yeah, because, I mean, they had enough. That's why I'm excited, too, because they had enough energy to where they didn't need a full band up there. Like, you don't even need a singer, really. Barry could just go up there and just rock it, jump around. Like, he feels, as small as he is, he fills that stage.
I want to circle back to the conversation we were talking about, how you felt like, you closing in on 40 and that you want to play guitar. You wish you played guitar. And look, I'm a living testament. I picked up guitar for the first time at 38 years old, and I'm still going. So don't let your age dictate what you want to do in life, my friend.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I get that, and I would give that same advice. I guess it's the patience of, like, if I would pick it up, I'd want to be playing shows tomorrow, or what kind of songs what kind of guitar player I want to be. Then I would be playing it to mainly probably get into a band, and then I guess by the time I'll be band ready. I mean, I guess I don't know. I never tried, so I get what you're saying.
From the first lesson, my guitar instructor was like, "Man, it's like, why do you want to play guitar?" I was like, "Well, because I've always had a fascination with it. I'm hugely inspired by like metal guitar players, right? I mean, that's the music I grew up on. I would love to be in a band, but the anxiety that I would have, like playing in front of people, I don't know, like, I know my limitations, and right. So, and that's why I admire guys like yourself who just go on stage, give it your all, and I mean, if you fuck up, you fuck up. If not, if it's a great show, all the better. So, but I know me, man. Like, if I was to go up and I fucked up, I'd be like, it'll be like the end of set, be like, nope, done.
Yeah, well, I wasn't always like that. It actually was. I got the guy's name. So the first show we ever played, I didn't even know there was a pit. I was disappointed. I was like, man, I thought we at least was pit-worthy music, Well, there was a pit, but I never looked up. I was so nervous. I stared at my shoes the entire time, and never looked up. So as we were going, this guy was telling me that. Actually, he brought up Marilyn Manson. He's like, dude, you're big, you're tall. He's like, you own that stage, man. This is what people come to see. He's like, man, if I had your height, man, I would just be doing this, doing that. And that sat with me. So I was like, all right. And then, people come, they come in to see a show. That's where you could be different or put on a persona or put on an act. And then I just got super, super comfortable with it to where I didn't care if I fucked up, like you said. I wouldn't even care about even nailing the words all the time if it's something I could do to, like, entice the crowd to get crazy, or, all right, man, jump the fuck up or something like that, to where it's a live show, like, listen to the CD if you want to hear the words, or most people don't even know what I'm saying anyway, so I think I always get away with that if I don't say anything or, talk to the crowd. Because it sucked too, because, man, for the longest time in Deftones, the song that you played, the Cannabilistic Chivalry, Gavin wrote that one.
Okay.
The lyrics. And for some reason, no matter how many times we practiced this and that, I probably didn't learn the words to that whole song until probably about a year and a half of playing it.
Better late than never. He would always
look at me when I messed up. He'd be the only one that would know.
Yeah.
But we would trade back and forth with lows and highs. That it was just the beginning. That for some reason I couldn't remember once the show came. I got all these thoughts in my head. I could remember everything but the words to that song, and for a year and a half I got away with it until I was like, all right, man, I'm starting to catch it now. But as a musician, you should know the words to the song. You know what I mean? Like, but I was able to play it all for like a year and a half.
and he would just give you that look. You cross the stage like, hey, man, you fucking with my baby right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, it was funny.
That's good shit, man. So whenever you're talking about going back to the early days of Deftones, was there like a moment or maybe a series of moments that made you realize that, okay, we got something special here. Let's just keep it rolling?
I would say just the fact that everybody would show up to practice and go play the show. Mm-hmm. That seems like the hardest thing, and that's why bands break up. Most time it's not even so everything that's happening with Deftones right now, it's no bad blood, no fuck you, I quit. It's really one got injured, the other one's life's in the way. So to me nowadays, considering that I don't know, I mean, unless there's one in Lafayette, I don't know any around here, which is why I kind of glad that I came up when I did. That's what you had the all ages venues for. And there was a bunch of where kids could go out there and fuck up and have fun and learn, but you had more free time then. Like you didn't have work, you didn't have kids, you didn't have, well, you know, most of us didn't,
Right.
at least. I mean, I don't know everybody's backgrounds, but so to me, it was just the fact that because Gavin and I could have put out that EP without ever playing a show and just hope for the best. But to have Jared and at the time my friend Mike join and we was playing shows and there's just them being on board and having the time to show up is when I felt like, you know, because I don't have the dream anymore. I don't have the trying to make it, because even that's kind of like some of the bigger bands out right now don't even have labels. And the way my job is, I could tour, but if I'm not going to make as much money as I can at where I'm working, I can't quit my job for it. I'm too deep into, I'm too old to start over anywhere else.
Yeah.
So if you could just get a bunch of people together that had the same goal and enjoy the songs and enjoy being around each other, I think that's enough to keep going. But that's what I thought, because we knew a bunch of people from before. So a lot of people knew us from prior bands, well, Jared and I. And it started with that friends, and then having those connections to where like somebody I knew when I was younger started booking at House of Blues. So we got to play a huge show there that, and you know, over time, people started to come back that we didn't know. We got to play the WrestleMania after party, which was awesome at the House of Blues.
Wow.
Yeah, with Cane Hill. And right before COVID, man, we were supposed to play Buku Fest, which was going to be the first death metal band on there. And that was due to somebody I knew that didn't even know that I was in a band. He was hitting me up to ask me if I knew any metal bands that would be interested in playing Buku Fest. I'm like, dude, I've been raised at Eto. All right, man, well, if you want the spot. I'm like, wait, for Buku Fest? And COVID happened.
Shit.
Right. So I guess we just lucked off just from being in the scene for so long that I guess we'll get a jump start in a sense, and you just hope that they like the music and the show, that they will come back. But it's, to me, considering, I mean, you, like you said, you're into metal and you got your list of favorite bands. Most of them skip Louisiana. They even skip Mississippi. They go from Texas to Florida. So in my opinion, if you have a good, strong sound, good stage performance, and nobody's assholes, it's easy to get somewhat of a following here, because people like metal. People enjoy seeing metal. You have the advantage of not having to battle the touring bands or the signed bands, because they don't come here. So that's why I don't understand why there's not a scene, but at the same time, that's why there's not a scene. But yeah, I think if I forgot when I thought I had a good thing going. Like I said, I thought when everybody was having fun and enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
Which they still do, which, you know, it's probably sucks, because eventually, you know, I would suck if I had to step away, but I'm not pressed on time, even though I feel like I am, to where, all right, if we don't play a show next Saturday, I'm off. It's not going to be the end of the world. We could try to play one the following Saturday, or at least work on some music. There's always something you could do, whether it's find a little group online and promote your song and hope 1 out of 1,000 people like it and you don't get trolled, or you know, working on some kind of artwork or something, or, you know, always something productive.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, doing the math here, looking at, you know, y'all started in 2016, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at your discography right now in front of me, and it has, you know, y'all had the Saints chant in 2017, so I'd imagine y'all probably started in 2016 around that. And I mean, you know, we're in 2022, so, you know, like 5 years or less than 5 years, maybe, I don't know. You know, y'all able to, like you said, like put together some really good shows, and, you know, and play House of Blues and whatnot. And that just goes to show you, like, y'all doing something right. Like the people are, there's an audience for y'all. And I think as long as y'all maintain it and nurture it, it's y'all bound to take off. You know, that's just my optimism for you.
Oh yeah, I guess it's all about what's their definition of takeoff. You know, because so I look at it as, so Gavin, when he was in the band, one of his favorite bands is called Infant Annihilator. Not sure if you ever heard.
I heard of them. Yes, Blaine is actually a huge fan of them.
Okay, well, they'll never play live, or they haven't played live. They're a recording band, but they're a lot of people that I know's favorite band.
Mm-hmm.
So they could probably tour and do good and this and that, but they're going to leave it at that. And I just want, at the end of the day, well, I guess the end of my day, if I ever would pass away tomorrow or a year from now, that my songs would still go on. You know, like Acid Bath hasn't been around forever, but people still talk to them as if, you know, they got a show coming up this weekend, or, you know, people still randomly put them on and jam them.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now, as opposed to, you know, touring the world, or, you know, playing shows all the time, which I mean, I do have a huge passion for it, but I want to just record more.
Yeah.
And, you know, because if it gets too much of a headache of recording, then I just feel like I'm just pulling teeth. But like I said, when I put the thing out for the drummer, more people hit me up than I thought, and that kind of was made me feel a little more secure that people like the band. It's just finding, I guess, the right one. But Hickman was one of them. But then he asked us to join Raccoon City Massacre, and I don't know how the two's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's got the lead and ballot for that. But they already booked a RCM show, so that's, I guess, where my head is right now, trying to learn these songs so I don't make them look, you know, dumb. I'll make myself look dumb.
So can I ask you, how many drummers y'all have narrowed down for Death Toll? Besides Hickman?
2 other ones.
Yeah.
But Hickman, I guess the familiarity. And he's persistent.
Yeah.
Because the other ones, since I haven't really talked to them much, because my brain's been elsewhere, I haven't really heard from them.
Uh-huh.
But Hickman brings it up on his own. And that to me is enough to win me over. You know, somebody puts in a job application and they don't wait for you to call them.
Right.
They're calling to check on the application type deal.
Yeah, he's definitely got the drive, man. He's definitely motivated.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome. Well, he came to my house to help me with my studio, but I've always known him. In fact, funny story, and he said it was full circle. So Jarrett has always been filling in. I just thought as long as I don't actively look for a drummer, I'll be able to keep Jarrett forever. And he, you know, he's been the drummer from the jump. Never really wrote any parts except for this new song. But Hickman was supposed to join Death Toll a long time ago. But he said he showed up, saw the performance, and got scared and left.
That's wild.
I was like, did it suck, man? I mean, what the heck? And now, you know, now it's full circle, and he's already learned 2 songs.
So,
on his own.
I mean, that's fucking killer shit right there, man. I had a question in mind for you. Being that we brought up Hickman and RCM, what's the scene like, you know, in New Orleans that, you know, you take out those big bands that we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, like I Hate God, Crowbar, you know, and all of the Phil Anselmo acts that you can name. You take away that side of it, like, and we don't know, you know I don't know every single New Orleans band that there is besides, you know, Exhort and all that. So you're more in that area, you're more involved. How is the scene different from whenever you came up to now?
Damn, that's a good question, man. One, I would say the scene. All right, so every big band you named, I don't consider them the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I consider them what you think about when you think of New Orleans bands. Being in the scene, there's so many bands that people don't know that to me makes up the scene. But these are the guys that just stayed at it for 20, 30, 40 years, and tour. And, that's why I'm saying, if to me, the New Orleans band, if you break that curse and stay together for more than 4 or 5 years, whether if you had lineup changes, because all those bands definitely don't have the same, they probably all have the same singer. Everybody knows Phil, you got Ben and Sammy, but it has always been just Ben and Sam. Like Go Horror had a rotating bunch, Crowbar definitely, but they stayed together. One guy kept them together for so long. So when I think about the scene, I don't think about them, but I would say the difference is the all ages part, and it wasn't as divided as it is now, because I guess it always was like a. All right, so New Orleans to me is broken up into two different parts. There's the Metairie part, and then there's the city part. So like Exhorter, I Hate God, all of them are like the gritty city bands.
Yeah.
Then you had the Metairie, which you had the high ground. They used to have this place on the West Bank where my first band did very well at. It was called the MVC. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
All right, so the MVC was an Indian campground, tattoo shop, venue, haunted house, anything goes. But they would let any band play, and that's where a lot of young bands got their start. And you could sleep there, you could get a tattoo there. It was anything goes. So that's was like a training ground. But that's where everybody was. So everybody was at the high ground. Everybody was at Cypress. Same thing. MVC. And everybody was friends. Everybody was booking together. You got to really book your own show, to where it's, this is just my opinion. Now a bunch of bands are just getting lumped together, which I like a mixed bag show, and most of the time I'm friends with them. But the Metairie side of it is, bars need to have bands play, and bands aren't networking themselves. So you have a promoter that is putting these bands on these shows because they said yes, or this one's not available, this one's available. So you have these mixed bags, and nobody's networking, nobody's promoting. They're kind of just playing just to play, it seems, to where on the New Orleans city side, you got all these underground grindcore type, crazy I Hate God type bands who are networking, who are working together, who are booking their shows with their own lineup in mind, and it's doing, I think, a little more better on that side, even though the production on the Metairie side with the lights, the sound, the venue size is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I guess a lot different now is people were excited to. You had to hunt more back then too. Like people would go to the bar. I guess just having more time. People would go to the bar no matter who was playing back in the day. People would go search for bands, and that's how you found a new band. Whereas I guess life, like now, it just seems the trend is just to be sad and not do nothing.
Wow.
It just seems like not, I know everybody's going through emotions, but back then people at least lied that they were happy. Now it's okay to not be okay, and nobody's doing nothing. But that's just the state of the world.
Yeah. Well,
but all those big names you named, I rarely even see them play here, or see them even advertise. I mean, they're on tours doing their own thing, and I guess on their breaks they might throw a show at Southport or something. But now there's, to me, just over time, that's what I'm trying to do for the Liam thing, or just recording, period. Now that if I get this studio thing together, is to take all my old school favorite vocalists or musicians and whoever wants to partake and try to at least do a song with them, since it was so hard to do it back then, just to get them to scream, rap, sing, whatever I can to collaborate before it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That's a great idea. Yeah, so some of my favorite bands, in fact, they don't tour at all either. They just keep pushing out records and shit. I'm just as grateful for it. If I could see them live ever, if that's ever possible, awesome. If not, I don't mind buying a CD or just, buying our MP3s or whatever it may be to support them, because they put out some kick-ass music.
That kind of motivated me in a sense of like just talking to these younger guys that are in bands now that are doing well. All the bands that have influenced them enough to record, pick up an instrument, buy their T-shirt, know all the words to their songs, they have yet to see live.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, these bands are putting in the work, I guess, to be known, but you don't necessarily have to be a live band. I guess you have to if you're paying your bills, but if these guys are into you that much for your music alone and have never seen you, which sucks, which I hope, whoever the case I may be speaking about gets to see that band, but they haven't. So just like Infinite Annihilator, you can just release songs. But no, I just want to release them just because I'm having fun. And you got to go out there, you got to be comfortable enough to know that people's going to trash your shit and not even listen to it too.
Exactly. And so talking about music and metal in general, what are some of the some extreme metal that's pushing the needle for you these days?
For extreme metal?
Yeah, or just metal, whatever.
I don't. To be honest, I don't even listen to much metal.
Really?
Yeah,
that's wild.
I like. There's a bigger thing now, I guess, in my little community where it's just different terms, and I'm all about a good, healthy debate and a matter of opinion. But metal just has a lot of elitists, and they only, at least the people I see online, sharing the same 3 bands over and over again, and you're not allowed to progress. And I thought it was cool once they started adding the orchestras, this and that. But I like, I like R&B, I like rap music, I like pop music, I like all kind of music. So to me, I don't think it's the end of the world when an extreme metal band starts singing, and that seems to be the hot topic in deathcore. Is nobody's allowing singing, and then you're selling out. But to me, unless you know these guys personally, I don't know if you're. My opinion would be, so like Whitechapel, a lot of people are falling off their bandwagon because of the singing now. But to me, if he's been wanting to sing this whole time and it was scared because he would lose fans, but now he feels comfortable enough to sing, I can't see how that's selling out. I find that he's finally being true to himself and getting to explore avenues vocally that he's been wanting to do that he was scared, because I can't see that he's trying to make more money doing it,
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know him personally. He very well could have been like, hey man, we got to sing now to make money. Then yeah, I guess you kind of are selling out. But if that's your job and that's how you make a living, it's all about the ear of the beholder. But a lot of metal to me will start to sound the same, because once one band gets big, they're all doing it. So I just started listening to, like, there's been like a resurgence of 90s alternative bands I've been getting into. The last extreme metal one I really liked was Worm Shepherd. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I have not. I will check them out though.
Oh yeah, they're tight. And Fit for an Autopsy came out.
I know about them.
But yeah, they had like a deathcore day this year where like 4 big albums came out, but all of them had singing in it. And that's kind of like, I guess that's the, I don't know if you want to call it progression or whatever, but to me, there's only so many things you could do differently to make it sound different than in that kind of style of music. Because you're going to go so extreme, and what you're going to do different, you're going to add some electronics, you're going to sing, you're going to rap, you're going to add a saxophone. There's not many things to, outside the realm to do to, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, I find, with that genre. Because if you put out the same record, you get this for that. If you try something new, you get this. But everybody's online talking about what they don't like with it than what they like.
Right.
It just turned me off on the, like, God damn. But extreme metal. Let's see, what's today? Tuesday? What came out Friday? I thought something just came out. You ever heard of Rollo Tomasi?
I don't think I have.
They're like an extreme one. Or Deafheaven.
I know Deafheaven. I do know Deafheaven.
That last album was a total different album than their first one.
Oh, Infinite Granite we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
don't even think he streamed at all on that one.
He doesn't. I think he does maybe in the single they put out, and it's like at the late end of the song, and it's kind of like in the background where he's just yelling, but because like he's sick, he's yelling over the clean vocals or something like that. But I think that's the only track he does that. Everything else, they really tapped into their I hate to say it, but like they're like the pop side that, I mean, and it's fine, dude. Like everyone has their own influences and inspirations for any given, writing process. And when they went into the studio, I think they made a conscious effort to just tap into something that, granted, there was a lot of emotions going in the world because of COVID. They were writing that song during the height of the pandemic, and Carrie McCoy makes no qualms about it. He's the biggest Mogwai, My Bloody Valentine, and Radiohead fan, as well as liking black metal bands like Mayhem and Emperor and all that stuff, dude. So I mean, sooner or later, it was bound. Those influences, other than the metal influences, was going to show up. And but yeah, I love Deafheaven. Do I love the last album? Probably not.
You like everyone? What was it? What was that album?
Sunbather?
Yeah, Sunbather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wonder, but I guess that's a business decision on the band's part. Because in my head, so let's say Whitechapel, there's another one, Enterprise Earth, started singing. So the old discography is still there. Whether if you don't like the new guy for Suicide Silence as opposed to Mitch that passed, that discography is still there. Now, how they break it up into the shows, I don't know. Like Deafheaven, if they come in concert, I can't see them not playing Sunbather songs.
Oh no,
about that. But their album, there's like a what's that word? Like a I can't think right now. There's a I can't think of the word, but the album is in the same concept, so I couldn't see them adding those kind of songs with this new album because it all followed the same continuality. That's the word I'm trying to do.
Continuity.
Yeah, there you go.
I got you back, bro.
Thank you. But yeah, there's always that old discography with the other ones, but people get older, and I would have never guessed I would have been trying to do extreme metal with positive lyrics about being a dad until I became a dad.
Yeah.
And I don't think nobody's going to get it unless you're a dad. Nobody wants to go bang their head. But I try to look at it as, there's a lot of rap music I listen to that I was singing along with about shooting people, and I don't own a gun. So, I think as long as that vibe's right. But, yeah, I've been getting into a lot of shoegaze as well. I guess just different because, wait, go ahead.
I was actually who as far as shoegaze, who you listening to?
Well, I hope they consider shoegaze. I really like Blanket. There's this band called Blanket.
Yeah.
I found. We were promised jetpacks. That's a band. But yeah, it seems like a lot of these bands, like Loath.
Yep.
Their new album. It's not all shoegazy, but it's funny to me that out of all the new metal had its wave. A lot of people started sounding like Korn. People sound like Slipknot, Whitechapel when that deathcore thing happened. But it seems like a lot of bands now are finally starting to jump on the Deftones wave.
Yeah,
like the not early Deftones, but like the shoegazier,
like
Deftones.
Like Minerva and all that stuff, and like
like White Pony.
Yeah, White Pony. Yeah, and I mean, it's weird, man. Like we always. Not always, but like just about every episode out of the 13 I've recorded so far, like we always mention Deftones. They pop up in conversation, and me of all people, I appreciate that because Deftones, the first 3 albums or the first 4, I'd say, and the one that had Diamond Eyes had a special place in my heart. Like I love the emotion that Chino would always bring into his lyrics and his in the voice, man. You cannot escape that haunting voice he has.
No, and I always like too. I guess being a screamer, that the older he got, he never put no effects or whatever. Like you could tell his voice is burnt out, and he just leaves it there. Like I've heard this. I forgot what song it was, but it's him though. But I guess who's to say a scream is perfect or not? But there's one song I can't think of it offhand, to where it's like one of the most awful screams I've ever heard. But who's to say I mean, he probably was emotional. That was a scream, but what the correct scream was not. I mean, technically, you shouldn't even be screaming in music anyway.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people saying that's not a real voice, but no. So I had Around the Fur and Adrenaline on cassette, but it wasn't until White Pony came out that I really got into them. Because before that, I just liked everything heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's 7 Words or Roots.
Yeah.
The shut up, you don't know me. That used to be the part to where you'd be at a party drinking and that part would come on and everybody pretend to either play air guitar or pretend to be Chino with an invisible mic. But now the White Pony came out and I mean everybody I knew was buying the alternate covers on the CD and I was like, damn, so Digital Bath was still probably one of my all-time favorite songs.
Same here,
You know,
man. You name my track right there. I love that track.
Like that track made me go back and listen to softer kind of rock, and I was like, damn, man, that one kind of opened it up to like, all right, I guess I can have like a sensitive side in a sense, even though compared to everything else I was listening to when like new metal was getting big, you know, where I mean that was a point in my time where I would actually put posters of bands on my wall and cut out the pages from the magazines.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing
everywhere. It was that era, and Deftones was definitely one of them.
My mom and my parents wanted to murder me, man, when I had to take all that down because I had like these collages of posters and article cutouts all over my walls, and like, you know, with enough tape, you know, you start taking off the paint off the sheetrock. Right. And my dad was so fucking pissed.
Yeah, because I would say between White Pony at that time was such like a genre change, and during that time when Marilyn Manson came out with Mechanical Animals,
mm-hmm.
that was way different than Antichrist Superstar in a sense of like the sound. But yeah, you can't discredit Deftones. I've seen them a few times.
I only saw them once, and it was at the House of Blues, New Orleans, no less, and I just turned 17. And that was quite a show. I remember that show. It was so much energy, man. And Chino even mocked Gavin Rossdale from Bush. He put the guitar over his shoulder. He's like, hey, y'all, I'm Gavin. And he started playing like the opening notes to Glycerine. I was laughing my ass. I was dying laughing, man.
Yeah, I seen him at House of Blues too. I wonder if it was the same one.
Oh, I had to. Is it 97? That's when I went.
I can't remember the year, but what I do remember, one, it was sold out.
Mm-hmm.
I hosted a ticket outside, and finally get to see him. Finally get to see Deftones because I saw Team Sleep at Howlin' Wolf, and nobody was there really. So I got to see Chino before, but not Deftones. But the show almost ended because he shocked himself from the monitor.
Oh, wow.
Like a couple of songs in. Yeah, so I'm like, damn. And they didn't know if he was going to come back out, but he came back out and he finished the set.
Did you hear his the project with some of the members of ISIS, Palms?
Oh yeah, I can't remember it offhand, but yeah, I've heard Palms, Team Sleep, and there's another one, huh?
I think might have been like, is it Churches? Or
Crosses.
That's it. But yeah, which was going to bring me to another band to push on you if you're into like shoegaze and all that stuff. And I mean, have you heard ISIS's music?
See, that's you consider that shoegaze? That's the one genre. So there's two genres that I have a hard time listening to.
It's more post metal than anything.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to get to. Black metal, like complete black metal, and post metal, like ISIS, Neurosis. What's the other big one?
Cult of Luna.
Yeah, them. Opeth.
Well, Opeth is more progressive than anything too. They started out death metal, then all of a sudden, like the death metal kind of got, watered down to prog metal.
Yeah, so the ISIS era of kind of music is the ones because my friend Jared that used to play drums with, he plays in Gora. That's his jam. All that, the ISIS, the Jesu, is that how you say it?
Jesu.
Gesu.
Jesu.
Yeah, them. I guess I'm on more of the shoegazy end of one. The songs can't be that long. They at least gotta have 4 or 5, unless it takes me on a journey.
Uh-huh.
But you ever heard Nothing?
Yes.
Like them? Man, what was another one I just got into that I thought was pretty big? One I just found this week. Grivo or Grivo, how do you
I
say it?
don't think I heard of them.
GR and Cloakroom.
That's all news to me. Cause see,
Well,
you mentioned two genres that I'm heavily into, namely black metal. that's it's
well, I like it when it's mixed with the death metal, deathcore, but like the straight just black metal, I can't get into it. And now I feel like they're going against what they're supposed to because they're having great production on their songs.
Well, here's the thing.
I thought.
Let me backtrack. I mean, like the black metal that I'm into, it's I'm a creature of habit. I'm always gonna go back to Dark Throne and like the early like Norwegian black metal where it was still true and a raw sounding black metal. I know a lot of my friends will probably disagree with me that some of the newer shit that's out there right now is like even harder and faster, but the production, I think some of that takes away from what, the main idea was behind black metal. I still find myself going back to listening to a lot of black and thrash. I love that shit. But, yeah, that's, sorry. I didn't want me to get off track.
No, you're fine. But that's what I always thought too, because I have friends that are like the biggest thing I always bring up fun is when they bring up these black metal, is to bring up Cradle of Filth. Apparently, you can't bring them up; they cringe if you're true cult. But I would think if you was a true black metal band or whatever, you'd save a lot of money because the real black metal fans want to hear you recorded in your basement.
Yes.
They want to hear the cracks. They want to hear your mom telling you to turn it down.
Yes.
Like they want to hear all that. But I get that nowadays, the cheapest way to record yourself is way better technology than they had back in the day.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? So
I'm a complete novice or beginner at recording stuff. Like that's another thing. Like no one told me when I pick up a guitar at 38 years old that I'd become this fucking total gearhead. I mean, I went from having one guitar to having 4 of them, and my own amp cab, studio monitors, audio interface, MacBook Pro, 3 microphones, and 3 sets of headphones. I mean, like I got all and I'm like, man, okay, I got all this shit. I need to do something with it now.
Right.
And like you said, man, but it's fun. Like I've always been passionate about music, and like getting into the creative side of it is definitely a passion for me, along with the podcast. Because like I said, I love hearing guys like the musician stories and hearing how y'all came up, through live music and recording it with friends and like-minded individuals and having a good time. I mean, I find that all the more interesting.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess you nailed it too with the recording with others. So my schedule, like I said, I'm home for 2 weeks, and everybody else, either has a 9 to 5, 8 to 5, like they go to work every day. And most of them that have studios, I would be waiting for them to get home and bother them, like, all right, man, you home yet? You home yet? And it's nothing personal. Most days these guys just want to just relax, make dinner, and go to sleep. And I'm like, God damn, I just want to record with people. So I started buying stuff to do it at home. The first couple times I did it by myself, it wasn't the same. I'm just by myself. I have nobody to hype me up, share a beer with, bounce ideas off of. So I guess to get my fix, I went to Rome that I was speaking of earlier. I went to his studio last night. I was like, man, I guess it ain't nothing like doing it with somebody. I guess just like jerking off and having sex. You need somebody. But I got all this stuff so I wouldn't bother people, and or have to depend rather, and I could do it during the day because I'm home all day, and it just wasn't the same. I'm like, oh man, I done bought all this shit.
Yeah,
but like you said, I also have it, so I'm going to use it. But it's kind of like, man, it's just much fun, the collaborating and the ideas, and somebody might hear something I didn't hear, and it's like, oh shit, man, let's do that, or let's try this.
Well, me and one of my good friends, man, like we're thinking about probably doing like a strictly recording project, and it's kind of in the vein of like ambient, maybe some shoegaze, if you will, and maybe if you're not busy, you can record some vocals for us.
Oh yeah, well, I can only scream. It'll be like some early Deafheaven.
Hey, that's hey, like I said, I love Deafheaven, man. Like Sunbather, New Bermuda, and oh my, Ordinary Corrupt Human Love. That I think they can't top that album. Like that's clearly their master of puppets right there.
For Deafheaven?
Yeah, for Deafheaven.
Oh, to be honest, we'll be honest with them is that band's been pushed on me forever.
Mm-hmm.
The only album I like is Infinite, the new one.
Really?
Yeah, it's something like that style that I guess maybe it was the way he screams.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got into them. Then the new album, and I was like, all right, I like the singles because I'm always going to give a band a chance.
Yeah.
And let's just say maybe a year from now, I might end up liking Sunbather. Like I never mind going back. I never mind. Well, in fact, I always go back. But it's these websites I go to that tells you everything that comes out. So somebody could went in their garage and made a song, and this website will tell you. So every Friday, I'm listening to something different or something new, and that's how I found out about that band Cloakroom. Mm-hmm. And I bullshit with Jarek here and there.
Yep.
Gargothian from your area.
Yeah.
He's the one that told me about Grivo. And that's an awesome shoegaze. Well, I'd say it's shoegaze, but some of the shoegaze to me sounds like 90s alternative. So I might tell you something that reminds me that could have came out in the grudge area, and you might hear a different genre from that song.
Yep. So we came up to this point in the show where I like to ask everybody, there's, if your ass is on fire, or your house is on fire rather, and you got to make a break with only 6 albums or 6 CDs. Most people your age got CDs. What are you taking with you?
Just like the Island album thing?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So I don't have my phone or my iPod, huh?
No.
Because I still do have an iPod Classic. Which albums will I take out of my house? One would probably be the first one I always think about is album I always go back to is Blindside's Silence.
Okay.
Chimera's Pass Out of Existence. Bone Thugs and Harmonies, East 1999 Eternal. Mystical, The Mind of Mystical. First Organized Hostility CD. And I don't know. Probably Deftones White Pony.
Hey, there you go. Close it out with Deftones.
That's 6.
That's 6 right there, but hey, man, solid choices. I mean, you got some variety going on. I love it. I mean,
but I guess it's all old too. I didn't listen to nothing new.
I mean, you got some stuff that I grew up on, or listened to at one point or another.
Man, that was a tricky question, man. I might have to run back in. I guess it'd be one of those things too that you hope that the fire burned everything but your CD collection also.
Right.
Now I want to go listen to all those things I just named.
Go do it, man. And, so, anything you want to push?
Well, I'm going to share this out, but I hope anybody that does listen to this, obviously they're into the local scene, as in, you're a local podcaster, so you're on the up and coming too.
Yeah.
I would say if anybody listens to this and gives a fuck, go to your local venue, regardless who's playing. Go on a night that you don't recognize any name and give these bands a chance. Go to their band camps. Go to these groups. I made a Spotify, if you have Spotify, playlist of every band I could think of in Louisiana to hope somebody will find a band they'll go see. And support the next, check out bands you never heard of.
Fucking right, man. And you know what? Why don't you, speaking of Spotify playlist, why don't you send me that list, and that way I could copy and paste it in the this episode's caption.
Yeah, you talking about the Louisiana one?
Yeah, the Louisiana playlist. If you want to go ahead and share that with me, I'll copy and paste it in the episode caption. That way everyone could see it, view it, listen to it, and see what Louisiana's all about.
Yeah, and also I'll put on there too that if there's any band that I miss, please tell me, man. It takes me a second. I don't mind. And then sometimes when I'm just bored, I go into different groups around the world and I share that playlist, hoping somebody at least find somebody from here they'll like and help the next guy out. And I also send you those bands that you said you never heard of, like Blanket and the Jetpack one. And it was funny that the first local band I ever really enjoyed or discovered, Organized Hostility, they was called Creed first.
Oh,
Then
I remember.
Bigger, not the same Creed,
yeah,
but nonetheless,
With the doors wide open.
And then, like I said, another band I really looked up to and liked was Never. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Mm-mm.
They spelled their name with a K. I mean, there were so many bands I've seen just come and go just due to life, and that just. I call it the Louisiana local band curse. They just can't get out of it, but they're still jamming. It's under a different moniker with different people.
Right.
It's just that one band just ain't together, and it's kind of like, man, if y'all just write more material, or if you're still jamming, why not get together just for fun and make another album with the same mind state you had under that band name at the time?
Shit, yeah, keep it rolling. Fuck it.
Yeah, just keep it going. Right?
Just what else you got to do on a Friday night?
Right.
Shit.
I mean, yeah. If you're just gonna jam it right anyway, and now it's so easy to record. I mean, that's why I'm thinking a lot of these, they keep using the word nostalgic bands, but bands always coming up are getting back together now.
Yeah.
I guess because it's easier to record and people want to hear it, and some of these bands like was it See Space Cowboy, Wrist Meets Razor sound like old MySpace high ground bands that they used to be local around here.
Yeah, and speaking of which, of guys getting back together, I don't know if you saw Sammy's post from earlier, but it's not so breaking news. Sammy and got together again with Mike Sanchez. They took a picture together, and sounds like new songs are going to be being recorded. They're going to be sharing riffs, so that's going to be something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, that's tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always see them. What's his name? Patrick.
Yep.
PM Star.
Yep.
Like they're always together with them doing the stuff. It's kind of like, I mean, I don't know exactly if it's like out of dedication to the guy that passed away that they don't write anything underneath the Acid Bat title, or nobody knows where Dax is, or.
From what I understand, Dax is here in Lafayette, and he just he has his own reasons of why he doesn't want to participate in any kind of reunion. He mentioned that on previous interviews and podcasts alike, and so that's that. And from what I understand, man, like Sammy is really excited, and I know Mike's really excited to get back with Sammy, start writing new material, because they both realized they had something really special.
Right.
They have because they have something. Their Acid Bat is always going to be around. You mentioned it before. People are still talking about Acid Bat. People always are chomping at the bit for a reunion of sorts. And like now, man, it's like Sammy pulling out the news on Instagram that Mike's together under the same roof and they're going to start writing new material. Dude, we got a lot of excited people in our area for sure.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's funny that Sammy has an Instagram.
Right?
Or even access to the internet.
Man. I guess that's what happens whenever in the middle of COVID, you started doing those live streams, and that's exactly how I was able to meet him. I started picking his brain. I said, I'll introduce myself, and if he answers, he answers. If not, so be it. The worst is he's gonna say no, and then I get to call him Bud today. It's awesome. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're a family man, and you're you got limited time with the family like that, working your 2-week schedule. I know how that is. I used to work offshore myself, so I just want to thank you, Philip, for giving me the time and the privilege to talk to you and discuss all things with you, man. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And y'all got to come out to Lafayette. You, Hickman, and the boys from Raccoon City Massacre. So we got another episode with everyone in the fold, man. And
I say whether it's under Death Toll, Raccoon City Massacre, I'm coming back to Freetown.
Shit, yeah.
By the way, I've had a great time every time. So I've only played there 3 times, but every time has been a great time.
Oh yeah, it was a great time when I was there. That's for sure. Shit.
All right, man. Well, yeah, I really appreciate it, man. And like I said, let me know when it goes up, and I'll help share it. And I'll go ahead and send you that link to the spot.
Oh, I will do, brother. I will do. All right, man. Philip Dussor from Raise the Death Toll, Raccoon City Massacre. Thanks, my man.
No problem, man. Thank you.
And